And you're not asking him to come in to be the man. You're not asking him to come in and put up 10 catches or even 5 or 6 catches a game. That's not even actually what you're asking for. You're asking for DeVante Parker to come in and be a chain mover. You're asking him. Welcome back to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And I'm your host, Tone DeShields II. If you guys are new to this show, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys also subscribe if you like the content, and also make sure you guys hit that notification bell. It'll let you guys know whenever content goes up. And look, I know you guys have plenty of options on the YouTube landscape, and I appreciate you guys for giving me a shot. So let's get into the content, right? Especially if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, but even more so if you're an NFL fan, if you like sports talk, this is the place for you. So make sure you guys lock in, hit that like button, make sure you guys subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you guys can know whenever the content goes up. So let's get into the latest news when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. According to Adam Schefter, the Philadelphia Eagles managed to bring in former Patriots wide receiver DeVante Parker, and they reached an agreement on a 1-year, $4.69 million fully guaranteed deal, of which Philadelphia has to pay only $1.2 million, with New England paying the rest. And according to DeVante Parker's agent, Jimmy Gold, DeVante is thrilled and grateful to become a Philadelphia Eagle and to help this elite organization win a championship. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge how tremendous of a job Howie Roseman is doing right now in free agency. He brought in Saquon Barkley, a move that I'm open about, and he brought in Bryce Huff, another move that I've been very open about, especially when it comes to my concerns. I've been very clear-cut about how I feel about the Saquon Barkley and Bryce Huff signings. I like the moves, but I have my own set of concerns about that. And if you want to check those out, I have another video where you guys can click on that and find out how I feel about Saquon Barkley and Bryce Huff. But so far, Howie Roseman has been very active bringing in those two high-quality players. He also brought in a center/guard, Matt Hennessy, and he also brought in a linebacker from the Saints on a 1-year deal. I forget my guy's name. Zach Bond. That's what it is, Zach Bond. So Howie Roseman has been very active in free agency, and the latest move has been bringing in DeVante Parker. Here's the thing about DeVante Parker, though. You know, he is 31 years old. He has battled a lot of injuries in his career, especially over the past 4 or 5 seasons. He's a former first-round pick drafted in the 2015 NFL Draft. He's 6'3", 215 pounds, played at the University of Louisville. And here's the thing about this guy. Although he hasn't really been the most productive wide receiver over the past few seasons, his greatest season came in 2019, where he put up just over 1,200 yards receiving, 9 receiving touchdowns, but he's never had a season like that ever again. In 2020, 793 yards, 4 touchdowns. 2021, 515 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2022, 539 yards, 3 touchdowns. And in 2023, 394 yards, no touchdowns, only 33 catches on 55 targets through 13 games played and started. So he battled some injuries in 2023 for sure. But I want to keep in mind, right, this is a 9-year going into a 10-year veteran with DeVante Parker, a guy who's 31, and you're not asking him to come in to be the man. You're not asking him to come in and put up 10 catches or even 5 or 6 catches a game. That's not even actually what you're asking for. You're asking for DeVante Parker to come in and be a chain mover. You're asking for him to come in and be a physical presence in the slot and to put hands and feet on anybody in the run blocking situation. So I like the move, especially when you think about the fact that the Eagles have been trying to get DeVante Parker in the building over the past couple of years, but he ultimately decided to go to the New England Patriots, and they paid him some pretty good money, and I can't really argue with that decision. But when you think about the skill position when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles right now, right? You have A.J. Brown, you have Devontae Smith, then you have DeVante Parker, you got Dallas Goedert, not to mention Saquon Barkley. I'm not the biggest Kenny Gainwell fan, but you still have him on the roster. He's definitely a useful tool depending on how you use him. And then you have Jalen Hurts at the quarterback position, a 2-time Pro Bowler, a second-team All-Pro, played in the Super Bowl. And then you have that Eagles offensive line, right? Now, they lost Jason Kelce. They lost Jack Driscoll. They lost Sua Opeta. But you still have Jordan Mailata, right, at left tackle. You just re-signed Landon Dickerson to a very lucrative deal at left guard. Cam Jurgens is going to move from right guard to center to play his natural position, and he'll be able to actually take over the way he was supposed to. And then you have potentially Matt Hennessy playing right guard, or maybe Tyler Steen. Those two guys are likely going to compete, or maybe they draft a rookie. Whoever's going to be the best guy out of those three will likely be the right guard spot. It might be Matt Hennessy. It might either be Tyler Steen. And then you got Lane Johnson, the veteran, the all-pro, the future Hall of Famer at right tackle. So that Eagles offensive line may not be top 5 or top 3 after losing Jason Kelce, but there's still a top 10 offensive line, an offensive line that can still get pushing the running game, and an offensive line that can protect the quarterback pretty well, especially if the quarterback gets the ball out of his hands rather quickly. But DeVante Parker just rounds out that wide receiver room tremendously. Also, it gives a lot of size to that slot receiver position as well, a lot of physicality. The problem with the Philadelphia Eagles slot receiver position over the past few years, when they had Quez Watkins at the helm, he had no physicality. His hands weren't reliable. He was really a track star. That's it. All he had was speed. Other than that, he wasn't a solid route runner. He wasn't physical at the catch point. Too often he got out muscled for the ball. It was hard for me to be a Quez Watkins supporter the way I was initially when he wasn't really living up to his role as the slot receiver. And then when you're in the slot, you're in the thick of things, right? They're expecting you to be a chain mover. They're expecting you to catch some tough passes in traffic. And that just wasn't Quez Watkins' DNA. It just wasn't. But DeVante Parker, again, he's a veteran. He knows how to play this game. He's been a veteran for 10 seasons. He's going into his 10th season, 31 years old. Once again, you're not asking a guy like this to come in and put up big numbers. But will there be a game or two or maybe 3 where he catches a key third down conversion, or maybe catches a key touchdown because they left him open? Absolutely. See, when you're in the game this long, like DeVante Parker has been, even though he has battled injury, he has always managed to have a job. He was drafted by the Miami Dolphins. He was productive for them, and then he made it to the New England Patriots. So when you are able to stay in the league for as long as he has, you have to be doing something right. You have to be good at your job. You have to be a reliable veteran. You have to have reliable hands. You know, when you think about DeVante Parker, in 2023, he caught 60% of the passes that was thrown to him. In 2022, he caught 66% of the passes that was thrown to him. And here's another thing as well, right? Although he only played in 13 games, here's something that needs to be talked about. Through those 13 games, of the snaps that he was available to play, he accounted for 74% of the offensive snaps through those 13 games, which amounted to a total of 581 offensive snaps. So he's going to get on the field. He's going to stay on the field. He's going to stay on the field when he has the opportunities. And with those kind of hands, I expect him to make a big impact for the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, no one's asking him to come in and be the man. You got A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith for that. What you want from DeVante Parker is to clean up some of the mess. You want him to bring some stability to that position at the slot, and you also want him to do some blocking as well. But I really like the move. I got to give credit where credit is due to Howie Roseman, because I've been very transparent about my disdain for the Philadelphia Eagles dysfunction over the past few months. Right, they had one of the most epic collapses that I've ever seen in the NFL, especially coming from a team that was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. So when you think about all that and you wrap all that together, especially how the season ended, you had real concerns. I felt like it was plausible. I felt like it was reasonable for me to have my own concerns, especially when I was talking about it on other platforms, right? The Philadelphia Eagles had some real questions that they had to answer, but so far, Howie Roseman is not being shy with the money. He went and got Saquon Barkley, spent the money on him. He went and got Bryce Huff, spent the money on him. He went and got a linebacker that's up and coming as well, and Zach Bond. He went and got an up and coming center/guard in Matt Hennessy, and then he brought in a veteran in DeVante Parker. You got to give credit where credit is due, because Howie Roseman is earning his paycheck, and I think he understands that the pressure is on. You have to maximize this window that you have with Jalen Hurts. As of right now, Jalen Hurts' cap hits aren't dramatic at all. Jalen Hurts' cap hits are very reasonable, and you should be able to build a team around him during that time. But as you get deeper into that contract, it's going to be more and more difficult to build that team around Jalen Hurts. But I said this in my previous video that you guys can check out. Through all the moves that they've made, I just want to make sure they're not overlooking their needs on defense, in particular at linebacker and at safety, right? But just staying focused on DeVante Parker, I think it was a good move, and I got to give credit where credit is due. He's going to be able to take a lot of attention off DeVonta Smith. He's going to be able to take a lot of attention off of A.J. Brown. And once again, you're not asking DeVante Parker to come in and be a world beater. That's not what you want from him. You want him to come in and be a stabilizing force in that slot receiver position, which is something the Philadelphia Eagles have not had in quite some time. I don't mean any harm, but he can't do no worse than Quez Watkins, a guy that only gave you 9 games last year, 21 targets, 15 catches, 142 yards, 1 touchdown. That came in the last game of the season. I mean, I don't mean no disrespect, but Quez Watkins just wasn't a good player for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he had a hard time acclimating to his role with A.J. Brown and DeVante Smith. And then the Philadelphia Eagles did take a chance on Julio Jones, who had moments, who had flashes of production, but he was just too old, and he was on the back nine of his career. Honestly, he's probably on the last hole of his career, and I'll be surprised if Julio Jones gets a job. He may not. I don't know. But the reality is DeVante Parker is 31. He's a Philadelphia Eagle. He's here to fill in that slot position, and I think he fits perfectly, bringing a lot of size, a lot of physicality, and solid hands at the position. And you can't get over the fact that the Patriots got to pick up the major part of the tab. The Philadelphia Eagles signed him to a 1-year, $4.69 million fully guaranteed deal, of which Philadelphia has to only pay $1.2 million of that. So therefore, the Patriots got to pay more than 70% of that deal. It's just that simple, man. So you got to give credit to Howie Roseman for knowing how to finagle the numbers, knowing how to find assets that you can get the most value out of, and maybe you ain't got to put the most investment in. And it's straight like that. So make sure you guys smash that like button. I want to know how you guys feel about things. How do you guys feel about the DeVante Parker signing? Do you guys think he can help the Eagles immediately? Do you guys think he's washed up? Do you guys think he's old and he's done and he can't contribute anything? Do you guys think he's going to be an upgrade from Quez Watkins? Smash that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. But most importantly, make sure you guys comment below and tell me what you think about what I'm asking you. Is he washed up? Can he give you anything? Can he bring you more than what Quez Watkins gave you? It all remains to be seen. But smash that like button, and I'll catch up with you guys later. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II, and you guys were locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge us to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry.